Recording in progress, everybody. So now it's, oh, everybody knows. So we did leave off talking about creation stories. I'm going to go ahead and segue into that and stay on that subject. We're going to review a little bit of Brown Bear. I'm just going to read through it just so you guys can kind of follow along. And then when we jump into the other creation stories, we'll hopefully try to translate as best as we can. And we'll hopefully go to the workbook if we have time. All right. So welcome. Let's see. Yeshirami Nimayarwa. Right. This is our Paiute language classes. Spanish Springs, North Valleys, and Reed. I'm sure Reed's doing great. I check in every now and then with Miss Burns, the other Miss Burns, and they're doing great. They're doing great things. I think they were on clothing, colors. They're doing some good things over there too. And of course, we know all of us three will go head to head in a virtual, yes, I said virtual, Paiute language bowl. That is not until May 21st, but still it's great to kind of get ready for it. And I'll walk you guys through it more. I do talk about it from here and there, but I just don't want to overhype it, because it's actually a fun time. It's not really a time for competition, even though we're competitive. It's really a time to kind of come together and celebrate the language. All right. So at the end of the day, everybody's a winner, right? We're all revitalizing. We're all preserving a language of which really needs that light shed on it. So it's an amazing time. Let's get started though. Ne pisha tsunami ne kayaniyu ne kai pishanim. Okay. Hopefully everybody's pisha tsunami with their mago, with their cool little bags, or non-bags, whatever you guys got. I think it's hilarious. All right. If it puts a smile on Dr. Shaw, you definitely know it's a really great thing. All righty. Yeshirami kono nanishtai. He's ready. Submit you. Wahat you. Bahate you. Watsakwit you. Manihit you. Mina pisha nimiya asma tuamu. No oko himami matibwekiti. Pisha nimi omama numa. No oko tinimidui nimi nanishtahaikiti. Pisha nimi nanasitahaina nanasihanina. Nimi kayanuna. Pifwa. Pishama yeshirami ta. Go ahead, take a seat. Oh, where'd I go? All righty. Glad you guys can hear me again. Just want to make sure we're good. I can hear you. I think we both have the same mic, so it's always a good thing. All righty. Pull out your calendars, please. Yahoo muha haya ananya. Isha dekwa muha. Oh gosh. What we got? 4 more days. And tabako chen muha. Pura muha nanyan. Tabako chen muha. Okay. The new month's name will be the sun returning. That's fun to say. Kochen just means returning. So the sun's going to be returning. Typically what that means is that our days are getting a little bit longer, so we'll have a little bit more sunlight out, right? Because in the wintertime, geez, we wake up in the dark and we go home in the dark sometimes, it feels like, right? Because our daylight is so short, right? That's in the wintertime. Yesh yahutabina hayo inania. Pisha you aha. Wahamano natakwa tsikwe utabina. Pisha hayo na walk no tabina.
What's in the Wokano?
Pisha what's in the walkana? How neat you huna kwate.
Abida?
Tabidawa. How neat you huna kwate nim. Yui? Oh, anadia. Pasia powe, ne pasia powe kate. I'm here sitting around in Hungry Valley at home. So about the same thing. I noticed we still have like snow on our mountains where the light isn't hitting it. So still cold enough to keep our snow, little bits and pieces here and there in the shadows. All righty. Please finish filling that out. I know how to fill it out. Okay. Nata o kwase kwe tabino. What's now walking tabino. All right. Everything else is the same. Now, matno. We're all done. Give you time to write that down. It's a little long. Oh, go ahead, put your calendars away once you're finished. Let me go into a little bit of review. Just going to read you a story. Story time. It's good to keep hearing. I know you probably can pick apart the story very well. I would actually love for you guys to read it, and we'll see if we can be in person next week. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be the case. All right. Moving on. You guys are really good at all this stuff. Numbers, colors. Now, story time. What day? Follow along with your handout or just follow along with the presentation? All righty. Itsi barwa, itsi barwa. Himma punni. Ne atsa hutsiba punni. Usui punipun. So I read this to the Head Start class yesterday. I hope they liked it, that I got really like animated. I was like, atsa hutsiba, hima punni. Ne oha punni. Usui punipun. Like, Jesus really looking at me. Yesh. Puhi puku, puhi puku. Hima punni. Ne puwi pamogo punni. Usui punipun. Puwi pamogo. Hima punni. Ne kui kiri punni. Usui punipun. Kui kiri. Hima punni. Ne tohasare punni. Usui punipun. Doha sare. Hima punni. Ne dushipa punni. Usui punipun. Dushipa. Hima punni. Ne oapa kui punni. Usui punipun. Oa bakui. Hima punni. Ne tinitwir punni. Usui punipun. Tinitwir. Hima punni. I nabunni. Or ne tuamubi punni. I nabunni. Tuamubi. Hima nabunni. What day? We don't need to hear these cute little voices, but it's always good to hear those cute little voices because sometimes things stick, right? Yay, story time. So like I said, I read it to our Head Starters yesterday, and they have their smart boards in their classrooms. So I got to sit down and read, and one of my little sons is actually in the classroom. So he goes, Dad, I seen Mom on TV. I got to sit and read to his classroom virtually. It was pretty awesome. But again, it's Nima, it's a language lesson. So we try our best to speak Nima to them. They only go for like 10, 15 minutes, but I'll have to run you through one of their slideshows one day. It's pretty cute. It's very similar to what we're doing actually right now. It makes it easy. Can you imagine? The Head Start class is kind of learning brown bear. You're kind of learning brown bear. Our advanced Paiute community classes are learning, they're going through something else. And I kind of wanted to share their class with you because we had a pretty good class last class, which was yesterday. But I'm going to segue from this story. Again, this is a children's book written by, I think it is written by Eric Carl, or I don't know if he illustrated, but there's well-known children's book writers out there. Gosh, there's so many amazing storytellers. So we don't really call them storytellers anymore. They're the modern storytellers, right? The writers of our times. And gosh, there's so many beautiful books, so many amazing literature that is out there. So as far as Nima, our storytellers, there's many of them as well. We just tell the stories of our creation, right? The stories or the prophecies. There's many different avenues of storytelling that are really important for Indigenous cultures. So this is kind of just a cute little story for children in today's society, right? So something kind of familiar, you guys can all translate pretty well. It's really repetitive. It incorporates colors, right? And we're segueing into animals and storytelling. So this is a great piece that we can kind of pick through. So now I'm going to share with you one of Ralph Burns's stories. Well, I want to say the stories he tells, because I can't say it's his story if it was gifted to him by an elder, right? And then therefore that elder was gifted, and that generation and so many generations, I cannot tell you how old these stories are, but I can tell you is they're pretty old. And I can't say it's Ralph's story, but I could say he retells it so well. And like I stated before, it's pretty significant that we hear these creation stories in English. Actually, they're translated into English. So either it be by if we hear it or read it. So here's a cute little story, and it's just a second. Gotta pay the bills. It is on YouTube. Like I've stated before, Ralph can't be in all of our different classes, right? He's only one elder, an elder that holds so much knowledge. So many of you who've listened to Ralph know him as the teacher, right? The master teacher, that's what we call them. He is my teacher. And so to know that he's the teacher's teacher, he's the master teacher. And he's not only known as a teacher, he's actually known as a storyteller. And he tells the stories in Nima. And he'll, depending on the crowd, he'll translate it into English. Of course, if it's a non-native crowd, he's gone to many different places to tell our stories, and he's traveled far and wide to tell our stories. He's been a part of Art Town. He's been in our classrooms. He's actually taught in our classrooms. Yes, at one point, Ralph Burns was the teacher, I believe, of Reed High School, and that had to have been in like 2008. That was a while ago. You guys are probably in elementary school still, but I can't say enough about Mr. Burns. So I'm going to go ahead and let him tell a story. This is a fun little story. Again, it's almost like our brown bears, right? What we were raised with, that Ralph was raised with. These were the stories that they were gifted to each generation. But also, this is a story that kind of tells a story, and there's virtues and values that are encoded in most of our stories. So they're not just stories to tell and be funny. they are stories to actually learn from and to tell like an underlining story. So I'm going to go ahead and let this play. It's Barakai Pongitano. So what that means is raccoon and the skunk. And it's told in the Pyramid Lake dialect. Okay, make sure we're up. Here we go.
A note to readers. This work is not meant to be a dictionary, but rather a reference for beginning students that are interested in learning and preserving the Paiute language. With that said, also note that the White Cliff method of writing was adopted by the elders of the Pyramid Lake Paiute tribe and the Pyramid Lake Tribal Council in 1998. As you are utilizing the information, please note that because of the many different bands, there are many different dialects among the Numu people. And this is not intended to be the only way the language is spoken or written across the land. Onos, buwahay na buwan. So para kay kabungit na. Semua awama subungit ko debonish. Isipwa ko para kay nobini bitiga. Yes, me ureving. House could I tabi no money me. Ukaizu ni kwige subungit to me. Tas ka pakwiga ga me. Sa Yesu para kay Yesu oitika. Yes, no, yes, ina hoop da mimia. Es que na hoop kumaba petiga yes. Oh, pida. Ukup to pakwisa kame ore. Yes, no, yes, pakwiga ka. So paraka kabisha maniba. Iwo pakwita tsiboy one. So bunget to kai mas a tsiboy. Oh, what is it tower? When not all but quick is miso paraka kabungit in the jump. That's the man now, when it. Bubaki all back to Maba with Taniga. So bungit, how in the trigger, or what is it tower? So all those of Paquigan is made also paraka. Milkuna Hane to me. Uskuba Pakui see me. This meahu kuna hanu to all kuna yes, Bugit was thousands of Pakui to how you will. Now, mu cousin, now, Kukuban, now, Dasi, Tisani, or those who might be Paraka, Pitu, kuna non. Yes, to put a bungit to interpret. How manakame is a bungit to the north spina how it's all the bridge in a haka. Yes, in a voice on when a yes, is a bungit for Paraka, Koba with the Matatse. Is a Paraka, the bungit to Napa. So bungit all so a habit. Oito, karang penaiku. Umanin mo na miya dois mo na spungit to Hanaba is a sida kwana. It's a paraka bono oroiso 2.k. Matno sapa. Long ago, there was two good friends, the raccoon and the skunk. One morning, the skunk woke up and went visit the raccoon and asked him, "What shall we do today?" And before the raccoon could answer, the skunk said, "Let's go fishing." Finally, the raccoon agreed, and they both made their way down to the river. And on the river's edge there, they built a fire to cook their fish on. Then they both started fishing. The raccoon was a good fisherman. Started catching a lot of fish. The skunk didn't catch anything. So the skunk started getting mad. After fishing for a while, the raccoon said, maybe we should quit now. He says, look, a fish is piling up on the bank there. The skunk didn't answer because he was still mad. Raccoon fished for a while longer, and then he said, I'm going to go get some more wood. You can clean the fish. So the raccoon left to get some more wood. And that's when the skunk started getting really upset. So he started doing everything to the fish. He started throwing them around, kicking them around, stabbing them around. He still was doing this when the raccoon returned with wood. The raccoon asked the skunk, what are you doing? And the skunk started arguing with them. And they really got to heated argument. And then they start fighting. And that's when the skunk slapped the raccoon in the face. The raccoon pushed the skunk landed a fire, and that's where he burned his back. And that's why still today, the skunk still got his white stripe on his back, and it smells bad. And the raccoon, he still got his black eyes.
Everybody there?
Wake up with
Hold on a second. Let's turn that down. All right, so I can't really pinpoint on this one. Where am I? Can't really pinpoint the actual lesson here, but all I know is that I think this is the reason why I believe the skunk has a white stripe, right? His if you listened, his tail got burnt. And this is also why the barakai, the raccoon, has black eyes. So these are cute, fun little stories that I guess you can't really script in today's society. You think about them, and some of the stories I was told, it's like, wow, there's some more stories that are definitely unorthodox in today's society, and that's okay. That's fine. It comes from an indigenous mindset, indigenous culture. So it's not meant for everybody to understand or, analyze it and do some fact checking on any of this. It's actually what we're taught and what we believe. So the storytellers who tell these stories have so much knowledge, and it's also cultural knowledge and knowledge about our surrounding world. So it's really important and really imperative that we give our storytellers those platforms to tell these beautiful stories to us. There's many more stories too. So what I wanted to do is go to our textbook. We'll be hearing more of Paraka Epongitano, right? We'll be hearing more. But I wanted to go to our textbook. I believe I have a digital copy somewhere. And then we'll end with Thalia's class. So let me try to find my textbook here. Oh, it's right here. Yeah. So here's my version, and this is my digital copy of what you have. If you have it, great. If not, you're welcome to tune into my copy. And of course, I'm digging for it. Here it is. Awesome. Let me see if it's the right one. Sorry. Okay, there we go. Didn't have the green light around it, so I wanted to make sure I'm sharing the right one. So if you turn to page 81, this is Ita Bongatsino. All right, so we heard this story already too. Just kind of wanted to go over it with you and seeing how everything breaks down. So I'll give you a little bit of time. Go ahead and pull out your book. Sorry, just missed my place. Here we are, page 81. Sorry, this pad? I can't believe it. Alrighty. Oh, that's the one we just read or just listened to. And I agree, I love hearing the storyteller. I love hearing Ralph tell our stories. He has such like a calming yet powerful voice, that grandpa voice. Togo sounds just like everybody's Togo. And all right, let's go ahead and you can follow along, but I do want to show you guys how it breaks down. All righty, if it'll let me. Maybe I shouldn't just, there we are. What page? Okay. Don't get motion sickness on me. All righty, here we go. There she is. So this is the story of Itza, which means coyote. Bongazi means mouse. And that N-O, the no at the end, it actually means end, A-N-D. So when you put Itza bongazi no, that means that N-O, think of it as it separating both of those nouns. It's an and, A-N-D. Okay, so I'm going to read it for you. Gonna just follow along up here or follow along in your book. All right, so onusu. Now this is like a way to start a lot of creation stories. So to me, it's like once upon a time, how you hear like fairy tales or, this is far from a fairy tale. However, I'm just stating when you hear something, you're like, oh, this is going to be good, right? Once upon a time, think of it as that, but also more seriously, think of it as they're getting ready to tell us something long ago. So you'll hear Ralph say, oh, no, long ago. So Itza, the coyote, Tieye ina tuhowe nemi. Kind of read it a little slow. So this says, long ago, the coyote was hungry. He went hunting. Ka tuhowe ina bongazima sakatuhu. While he was hunting, he caught a mouse. Ka bongazi doi tekakwasi. When he was ready to eat the mouse, Subongazi nika itza nitama. The mouse said to the coyote, okay, ne titi I tekamakwasi doishtiyeku. Sorry, I try to say that slow. Let me try to say it slower. Ne titi I tekamakwasi doishtiyeku. I'm small. If you eat me now, you will still be hungry. Suitsa o nakapuni. The coyote listened to him or her, listened to it, pretty much it says. O no yeshi subongazi mi. O no yeshi subongazi mi. Then the mouse told the coyote. Okay. Kamino tipanagai masasi. Ono sa anu babiti mani bitagakwa. Talking about if you plant, you now kind of put me under the ground and plant me. Later, I will be big. That's kind of like the best explanation I can give for that one. I don't want to do literal translation right now. We could do that at another class. Oh no yeshi iwaku tekakwa. Oh no yeshi iwaku tekakwa. Then you'll have a lot to eat. uhu diei suitsa kapongazi wamabimasi yeshimia. So the coyote buried the mouse and he left. Sa asupongazi watsitsi boisi dano manikya. Later, the mouse snuck out and ran off. Mhm. Very simple, but yet not simple. So I think we will break this down, meaning what we can do is do a literal translation of this. So like we did with brown bear, I would like to do something very similar. However, I want to make sure you guys are able to either read brown bear or retell brown bear. So I will be able to tell that next week in person, to have you guys read it in small groups and then share it with each other and then read it and then translate it. So I'm pretty sure that's where next week's going for brown bear. So we can hopefully wrap it up by next week. And then we will hopefully get into Itza. Bongazino. So there's another pretty awesome story I would love to tell you too. I believe it's here. It is about, well, those are little huida. We call them huida ants. Ishu kam. And so you got to hear Barakai Bongazino, right? And this one's actually pretty long. Maybe we'll save this guy. But it's called Kamusi. Kamusi is it means rabbit guts. Kamusi. It comes with a beautiful story too. So let me, I have it where we could tell it in how do we say it? We can tell it in English. So when, like I said, we do go to the Head Starts, and we were able to, I don't know if I could find it at this moment, but we were able to tell this story in Head Start. And we've been telling this story, and it's just a fun little story about a fat little jackrabbit and what the ants had done to her. And it's a very unorthodox as in today's society, I guess. However, it's funny. You know, our natives have some humor, and that's the best way to laugh and love is in Nima and speaking the language. So to hear the story, it's a children's favorite. And when we told it to our Head Starters, many of them love the song, and many of them just love the fact of the premises of the whole story. So it's a cute little story, and I think you guys would love it. I'm not sure if if I could find the English version as I'm looking for it, but I do believe that it's something great to tell, and eventually I'll be able to pull up the Kamusi story, but I don't think I have it readily available amongst all my files. I'd have to dig through everything. But again, it is a creation story and or a story of virtue, value, and there's Kamus. This is Kamu. Kamu is jackrabbit, and this is Shu Huida. Huida are ants. So there's kind of a little conflict right there that happens. It's a different take on how we would say a little bit of a conflict, but it's really interesting. All right, so that'll be the next one I share with you. Maybe I can just introduce a new one every day. So that'll be the Kamusi will be the one we'll look forward to looking at and reading next class. If you're welcome to read through it in your own, because here on page 76, it starts off with talking about O no su, right? Ooh, now you know it's going to be good. O no su. So it's always good to start off your creation stories, letting your people or your viewers or audience know long ago. So you're welcome to read through it, but we're going to kind of cover it more in depth. And I believe this story originated from Klamath Falls, Oregon, from what I was told, and it was gifted to some Paiutes down here. So it was brought by some Paiutes, Alaitsirika, right, the Klamath Falls, and came down here. I heard Alaitaka Muatapa. So I heard a Schur's elder tell it before. And it was a really cute story. So you're welcome to read through it, but I will go over it more in depth and share some more audio about it next class. Okay. So I will try to introduce a new creation story every class. Yes. We are going to view one of Thalia's classes. And this was freshly recorded. Sorry about that. Okay. Where did it go? All right. So this was freshly recorded yesterday. So I was able to see Thalia. She's doing great. She came flexing some language on us. So we know that our elders, are here to teach us and guide us. So she's really trying to step up her community language class. So again, I just want you guys to listen. Go ahead and listen to we're going to listen to the weather, which is pretty important to hear. And then she's also going to give some vocab. And I love the sentence building warm-up or the sentence warm-ups. You just give a vocab word and have your students create a sentence. We're not quite there yet, but I do remember when we started to do sentence warm-ups at one point in North Valleys, I could project an image in the front of the room, whether it be like a kama, badawa, or a funny image too. And then we would go around the room, and we had about 15, I don't remember, maybe 20 students at that time. And every student had to tell a different sentence about the image projected. So yeah, we got about 15 to 10 different sentences that our students would produce. So that's eventually where we'll get both classrooms, is we got to do some sentence building. Okay. So let's go ahead and view Thalia's for the rest of the class. All right, here we go.
So what ni kumiapuni, a little bit of cloudy, and it will be natakusimano you. 7 wahana wakano Tuesday. So what ni kumiapuni, a little cloudy, a little bit cooler. It's going to be not himano you natakuts 67 age. Pinakwa pahim na wakano. Next Wednesday, Tabidwa na pahimano pahimatsipugir 63.
63.
Oh,
Bisha? Okay. Wow. Christine now. Are you going to do
I think we'll do the next one. I think she's gonna pop in when she wants to. It's okay. Hi Bisha, how you say? Oh, how you say? Ohi.
Okay.
And idiot.
The bingo cards. So we get steep. Steep at Nayuikina. Okay, steep at Nayuikina. The next one is
Turupi.
I always can't get that one all the time. Turupi, but Turupi Vishakama, Turistana Yukshani only Kohirono. I see no. Jerry. Make us on the Jerry, Eva Ponica, Madaiva Novi Korean. When is she butterfly? So up, honey, ponimi, Nico. Okay, and Deva. No horse visual the coin and then the hit ya. This is what they hit ya. Huawei ya. Where now the Stacy Bowen. Okay, who's turn? Then we go to Christine. Can you do that one? The sentence in the today. No big picture, no big chat, deep. Can you make a sentence out of that? Christine, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to participate, Thalia. I'm really coughing a lot when I talk and stuff.
Okay, you can just say
Yeah.
what they are then. Just say what they are.
Oh, all of them? Okay. Deepa, Sadupi, Tiabi, Swapa, Tuba, Tahuja.
Yeah. Okay, Matt, your turn. You gotta make sentence out of that.
Okay. Setipa Palayo.
Okay, Bisha.
Setipi Pijana Tiswa. Yeshi Tiabi. Setiabi. Muhura ya? Is that how you say spikes? Muhu?
Makuba? Kai.
Maku?
Kai Makuba. You say spikes.
Sabi Makuba.
Maku.
Makuba what? Makuba na avitur. Makuba one.
What is okay?
Sabi.
Makuba. One.
Yeah, you can say Sabi Makuba one.
Oh.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So up page.
Apa aku gubakwe when
No, you're seeing what you're lying around.
flies around.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Then she Nemi Devatika.
Okay, the next one.
So the hitch it's liquid or it's liquid chada.
Mhm. Okay, Josh.
My turn. Can you guys hear me? I put on my earphones.
Mhm.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. Deep. Dame shokwa karipe mavitia.
That's a good one.
Surupi ne surupi suhibi. Tiabi. Sutiabi pishat tabuada. So after so up Huh. What is it doing?
It could be flying around,
Yotsi one.
yeah, on the flower or tree to tree.
Yotsi no.
Yeah.
Okay, tuba. Sutaba bishakama. Tuba. And tuhutcha. So tuhutcha ni puni puni.
Hey, Richard.
What the heck?
Okay, next, we're gonna go to the next one. Ooh, wangi. Wangi enable kumaba kupone. Wangi enable kumaba kupone. Okay, wihi. Ka wihi kwe kunawa azibo kok. Wino. Wono. Ka wono weshane ka izibo kanateo nabra. This one is tradition. Huh?
Kutunano.
Kutinano.
Basket.
Oh, Nikoma Wilton Dayan. Okay. We one of Vishat Hamma. Kanazachia, or say. Usa, what is that chair or Vishat take one. Yata. Kayata yes use a milk Tivan honey horse. Okay, what's Joshua? Your turn. You can make sentence out of that. Wangi.
Okay, wangi. Suwangi kama to Hawaii. Kama Hawaii. Hunting for rabbit.
Huawei.
Kama Hawaii.
So,
We hear no we he got you.
okay. That's a good one.
Wono no kai wono got you.
Okay.
Kudunano. Usu piawawi kudunano ya. Maybe. We Tami sopa we yupui saboka ba
That's a good one.
yata Mac kayata igya.
Okay, you can just name them out, Christine. Mashikwiniaka, like you did before.
Okay. Wangi e wihi wono kutunano wayupui yata.
Yeah, shall we? Okay. Mac, your turn.
Okay. Wangi pijana ada connected. Ish ina iwa nihigai. the one or Sibi, would you say Madaboika or would you say Nahanina to made out of?
Which one?
For Wano.
One?
How do you say Wano Sibi Madaboika? Yeah, or would you say Nahanina?
Matapwe.
Madaboika.
You made it.
You
You
said,
made
what
Matapwe.
about the wono is made out of willows?
Yeah, walnut is made out of willows. You got to go after the willows before you make it.
That's right.
Okay, all right, the next one.
Josh already said that one. Kutuna na pishata bwada.
Mhm.
Yes, uyupwe ane atapane.
What's this?
So uyupwe ane atapane.
Sa
Atapane.
Atapane.
Okay, ini asahan. Okay.
Yes, shoot. Nemi Yadama Saak. Or no? Yeah.
Matawik.
sa
Sa.
That. Yeah. Cook in the basket.
Oh, he said cook in the basket.
Oh, okay. Oh, Bishama. Okay, what, yes, there's too much.
Fish.
Oh, we're
Okay.
gonna do second.
All right. So I just wanted to share with you that the sentence building that some of our community class students do. And I guess this is virtual. So they kind of were put on the spot. So you really have to they really had to rely off their language skills and sentence structures. So we'll eventually get to that point. However, I just wanted to share with you if you could pick like the vocab words. Obviously, you know the vocab word that and how they were trying to utilize it. So our next class, which would be next Wednesday with the community classes, is we're gonna kind of, I guess, analyze each or study each person's sentences. So it'll be fun. It's actually challenging, a little bit challenging for them. As you can see, they're obviously a little bit more advanced than your average, beginner, because these guys are self-learners and they learn, and they've been learning since in person and through specific elders. So it's always good to see the progression of other students. Yes, at one point in time, each one of those students, adult students, were beginners. So they didn't know anything. So I want to say one of them just started learning 3 years ago, the other 2 years ago. So they've really taken their language learning to a different level. I really commend them. I really want to highlight them because they have learned so much and they have dedicated a lot of their adult lives to learning the language. So some of us are lucky enough to have had somebody influence us in the language.
Send JD Cheer down to the cafeteria for testing. Thank you.
Ventura. Okay. Alrighty. Bonito. So I just wanted to highlight them for you all too, just to let you know that it just takes a lot of dedication. So some of us who has had maybe a speaker in our family, or some of us have heard it before or have been around it, I think it's a great platform for us to keep moving forward and to keep learning, because I know a lot of people, especially like maybe my mother's age or the generation before us, they take advantage that they actually know more than what they think. So in order to, and just not to sit on that limited language that you know, just to keep progressing and keep moving. And these students are actually a really good success story to know that, yes, some of them just started learning 2-3 years ago. And it has taken a while, you know, for them to dedicate themselves, go to community language classes, find resources. One actually was volunteering within our program, and then we hired this person on. So there's a lot of dedication that you really need to show, and especially to our elders, you know, that dedication really wants them to see you succeed. So they'll want you to learn so much, and they will be honored to be your teacher. So that's always a great thing to know too. That's all I really have for you. I don't know if Shaw's in the room or not, but everybody please have a great day. And enjoy all the funny and amazing bags or lack thereof that are around, that are walking around campus. I think that's hilarious. Anything to put a smile on you guys' face. It's really awesome to see and know. So that's all I do have for you. I know that was a lot of language, so I'm kind of letting you steep in it. Just know that every time I play Thalia, or we get to hear Thalia, it's a really beautiful thing, because she definitely has the dialect and the accent, everything down. That was her first language. So it's always good to hear her and hear from her. So if you ever want to see more, hear more, again, there's our Language and Culture Facebook page. You're welcome to tune into, and you're welcome to watch. All right, anytime. We're actually going to be putting them on YouTube as well. It's because not everybody has Facebook, and I get it. There's stigma with Facebook and young people, right? That's for my mom. That's for old people. No, it's okay. So we will be putting eventually a lot of her classes on YouTube, so we could start sharing and people can access it a little bit more on that broader platform. So that's all I have for you all. I believe there's maybe a few more minutes, maybe 10 more minutes or so. You're welcome to look at your workbook, go through some of the stories that I was suggesting, like Come With C, you can get ahead of the game and read through that as well. All right, there's Dr. Zhao. Have fun. Sounds like a fun day. Take care.
See you next week. See you later.
Yes. Take care.